Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to use EasyCSV with Google Sheets and Zapier to enrich CSV data you need to use. Uh, so here, I'm going to set up a new import page in EasyCSV. To do that, you can either type the names of the columns from the CSV. What I usually like to do is, have an example CSV that I want to import. This one has one row in it, who we will enrich later. And I like to just drag that into here because um, it'll just pull the column names. It doesn't do any import. So we're going to call this care package. We're going to pretend like we need to send some care packages to people and we want to know their job title, but we don't necessarily know it from the CSV, but we do know it from Salesforce, another app that we're going to pull data from and enrich this data. In this case, job title will always be empty when we import. We can leave it. We can uncheck it if we don't want it. We go next. This makes your public import page. You can send this to anyone. What we're going to do is every CSV that is imported through this page, or you can send it as an attachment to this email that you get, we want it to go to Google Sheets. That way the data lives forever in case we want to rerun the Zap or we want to look stuff back up. We like that because it acts as like a database that isn't just like a trigger per row. It's like it goes there and then you can trigger based off it. So I've created a Google Sheet that's the destination of this import that the Zap will be triggered off for care package. You see it's empty. It has these column titles, which match the CSV titles, which is the way that's easiest set up. You can always map the CSV columns to the Google Sheet columns if you want. There's other docs on that. So let's go to Google Sheets. Let's type in the sheet we want to go to. It'll go to the first tab. That's great. I'm going to click Save. This is all set up. You can send this to anyone you want. So let's take this CSV that has one record, and we're going to go here, test and validate. That's if you have some validations or filters. We're going to import the one record. If you have thousands of records, it'll go to. Cool. So you see that it was pushed to the Google Sheet. So now we don't know job title, but we do know another app, in this case, Salesforce. So we're going to look up this record, this contact, by their email in Salesforce, and then populate their job title. Oh, you see the Zap already finished. It can take up to 3 minutes, but this was the title from Salesforce. You'll see here's the contact. Greta, this was her email, and this was their title. So that kind of came in, but that was from a Zap that's always looking for new records here. So let's take a look at the Zap. The Zap is a 4-step Zap, and the first step is going to look for new rows. It's going to use the email from that new row, and it's going to look up the record in Salesforce. It's going to re-look up the row that was the original trigger and then update that row with the title. So, you're going to run a test. It's best to always have a first record in that Google Sheet if you're going to do all these tests because it's nice to have that data there to help all these examples through. Zapier uses the example row to help you populate and test the whole Zap. So after you do the new row trigger, you're going to go to this other app. Maybe it's Salesforce, maybe it's Hunter, or something else enrich. And in Salesforce, we're going to look up the contact by the email from the email column in the Google Sheet. If it works, we're going to get back the example row. Perfect. Then we're going to look up that row again in the Google Sheet. So in this case, this lookup step, we're going to go back. We're going to look it all up by email. We're going to use the Salesforce email that was returned. You can use the original email from the sheet too. You should get that row back. And now the cool thing is Zapier will make an ID value. That's the value we're going to use in the next step. So to update the row, you're going to do an update trigger. You're going to find the sheet again. And this time the value you're going to use is the row ID. So when you go in here, search for row and choose row ID. Don't do email because you're actually updating that row. That's how the lookup works. And then you're going to update the column in that row, job title, with the value from the app you are doing the lookup. In this case, it's Salesforce. So, the Zap triggers, it goes through these 4 steps, and it updated this last column. You can go to, it doesn't have to be Salesforce. It could be anything that you want to use to enrich the data. Hope that helps. Drop us a line at our support email if you need help setting up Zaps or EasyCSV. Have a great day. Thanks.